Hello guys, so welcome back to the SQL section of data engineering with animation. Today we are going to solve our 31st problem of LeetCode SQL series. So let us jump directly to the question. The name of the question is restaurant growth and it has one table known as customer which has four columns: customer ID, name, visited on, and amount. This in SQL, customer ID and visited on pair is the primary key for this table. This table contains data about customer transactions in a restaurant. Visited on is the date on which the customer with ID has visited the restaurant. Amount is the total amount paid by the customer. Okay, simple table. You are the restaurant owner and you want to analyze a possible expansion. Okay, compute the moving average of how much the customer paid in 7-day window. Average amount should be rounded to two decimal places. Return the result table ordered by visited on in ascending order. Okay, so we have to use a order by at the end where it will be done using visited on column in ascending order, and average amount should be rounded to two decimal places. Now let's see the example that they have given. Okay, so there would be three columns in the output. First would be the visited on, second would be the cumulative sum of 7 days, means current day, and 6 days before the current day. So total 7 days including 2 days or the current day, and average amount of those days. So if you calculate, see the example is given. First moving average is from 2019 1 to 2019 7. Total 7 days, right? So see, they will calculate the data from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 100 plus 110 plus 120, 30, 40, 50 divided by 7. So, okay. So, hope you have understood the 7 days total. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind that suppose, see for these 2 days, 10, 10, this would be counted as one entry. So, before moving to the moving average part or moving some part or cumulative sum part, you have to make a table out of this table where you get one entry for every visited on date. I will show you the example that they have explained. See, for this date, they have taken 2019 4 to 2019 10, which is again 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you count, they are 7 days. But count the number of entries: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why 8? Because on 10th there are two entries, 130 and 150, right? So that will also be counted because we are doing a 7 days scenario on the basis of dates, not the number of entries. So if there would be three-person present on date 10, so there would be another addition to this, one more addition to this. So how to tackle that? I have already written a note on this so that we could spend more time in the explanation. First, we will create a temporary table where we are doing select visited on, sum of amount as amount, not very simple, from customer, and group by visited on. So we are converting the multiple entries on any date to one entry for our table. Now, if we run this, select star from temp. This is also a CTE with using with CT start with a with, so we are using a with clause here. Select star from temp. Now see the entry. This is very important, this question, that the main thing is to convert the separate entries for any date into one entry, then only we can calculate the moving average. Don't worry about the wrong answer. Now see, we get only one entry for each date. Now we are halfway through. This was the main thing that could have been missed if we have not paid attention, and we have directly jumped to the moving average. So read the question and example very carefully. Now what we will do, you know how to calculate the moving average between a period window. So there is a condition which is known as preceding and following. Preceding means, suppose we have written, I will show example, preceding rows between, how we write this, rows between preceding 6 rows and current row. So whatever the function that is being performed on the data, suppose a sum is being performed, sum of amount. I'm just showing an example and then I will write the query. So it would be calculated between the current row. Suppose my current row is 100 and 6 rows preceding to this 100. So there are no rows preceding to this entry. So the answer would be 100 only. For 110, the answer would be 100 plus 110. Now, if I go to 7th, for this, the answer would be 860 because this is the current row and 6 rows before this row. Following means rows after the current row. So suppose current row and following 6 rows. So it will start from 150 and will count another 6 rows from 150. So that is the way in how we define this preceding and following scenario. Whenever there is a case, we have to calculate our data between two fixed number of rows as asked in this question. So now I will just copy from note and will explain you. Now see what they have done. First, I will copy only this much and then I will add other thing so that we can go on with the explanation as well and don't get confused. Selected visited on, we have taken this from this temp. Sum of amount. Now, what is now amount is this. Now, don't consider this table. Go to this table. Now, sum of these amounts over order by visited on because generally we have, though in this scenario the days are sorted, but suppose if the table would in haphazard way, then we have to see that the order is properly maintained because 7 days means from a current day means the last 6 days, not any random rows. So that's why order by visited on in ascending and rows between 6 preceding and current row. So basically it will start counting. It will say 6 preceding in current row. So suppose current row is 150, it will see what are the 6 rows preceding it: 140, 10, 130, 120, 110 and 100. So it will take all these 6 into account and the last is the 7th row, means the current row. Okay, so that we have done. So sum we have to calculate because if you see here, we have a column name as sum in output. Then comes the average amount. So average is also calculated like this only. We have done a rounding of 2 decimal places. That's why round is there. We have calculated average amount and then again over order by visited on rows between 6 preceding and current row. Same scenario because again we have to find the moving average between the current row and 6 rows preceding it. Now I will run this. So we got this answer, which is correct. If you see the last 4 values, 122.86, 120, 120, 142.86, which is correct. But we are getting some extras rows. Now, how to eliminate extra rows from the output? Means suppose you have got 10 output, 10 rows in an output, and you want to select the first 5 rows. What you do? Limit. Everybody knows the limit clause because we have discussed in our uh, previous videos limit. Suppose I do limit 5. So it will select the first 5 rows from the output. But here I have to get the row from the 7th row. We cannot use limit because limit works from the first in the top to bottom manner. So I have to select something that eliminates my first 6 rows because I have to get the data from the 7th row itself. So offset will come to your help. This is another clause with SQL where you can just give offset 6 rows and it will remove the first 6 rows from the output. It will not consider it into the output. Okay. But one thing is that offset only works with order by. That you have to keep in mind. So you have to give again order by visited on. Though it was not required, but again we have to use offset. So we will have to give this order by. There are also other ways to do it. Means you can do a join and then enter a condition where current date and the date in this table is less than equal to 7 or something like this with date condition. But that will make your query very confusing and very large. This one makes your query very simple. Only you have to remember offset eliminates the rows from the beginning. Like limit eliminates the rows from the end. Limit only selects the rows from the starting. So limit पहले की rows लेगा and offset जो rows लेगा वो last से rows लेगा. So पहले की eliminate कर देगा. But offset has to be what you say combined with order by. Otherwise it will give you an error. So if I run this, I hope you should get the output because I ran it before the video. If I'm okay, so see, you have got your answer. Now, what I was showing you that if we don't use this order by clause, suppose it will give you error. So just remember, offset is a counterpart of uh, limit in works in just opposite way, and you have to have order by clause for it, and it will work again. And just type in your Google search SQL preceding and following rows with example, and just read a bit of theory onto that, and you would be very clear about how this preceding and the current row scenario works. So yeah, that is the case, and I hope you understood this question. The only complexity was this: the rows between six preceding and current row and rows between current row. So keep learning and keep practicing, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, goodbye.